Hello, how are you? I hope you are doing very well. It's Christmas. Oh, you cannot join? That's why am I frozen? Ah, okay. That's okay. You have to work tomorrow. Oh, that's not okay. You shouldn't be working tomorrow. That's not nice. I think this is not nice. Yeah. Good evening. Hello. Good day, Schattenkobold. Yes, the leaves. I thought they were pretty funny, so I added them. Nonsense egg. I hope you still have a nice Christmas, and even tomorrow that you have a nice day. Yeah. Tomorrow you'll have a just chatting. Yeah. And today I'm gonna read you this. Why is this? Why is this? Can I stop this? You better not run, you better not cry, you better not pout, or else your body will be under the ice. That's not very nice. Oh man. Well, yeah. Then have a nice day, Nansasek. Have a nice day. You go get some good sleep, I hope. Yes. So today, wait. First of all, I have to pretzel rocks. I have to stop those ads. It's because of the music. Hello, Yitsu. Good evening. Evening day? Is it even? I don't know. It's 3 p.m. I hope you don't mind Pretzel Rocks telling you which song is playing, because it's the music that's playing is from Pretzel Rocks. I don't know if I can ban them. So it's, I mean, I have the option, but I don't know if I should do this. It's snack time. Yes, it's true. I still have to open the 24th the blip of my advents calendar. I will do this very soon. You don't mind? Okay, that's good. And I have a little chocolate beverage here in my. It's a chococino. Something very fancy. Yes, it's still warm, and then I have some chocolate here. Yeah, I don't want to eat too much now because in a few hours we will have our Christmas dinner. So yeah, I think I'll just start reading stories. I have a few very fancy. Yes, it is. It is very fancy. I have a few here, and one of this is I'm gonna start out with this is the very well-known The Christmas Carol for children. Yes, I will have to tune down the. Okay, it's okay. Like this, first I have to. Okay, I have to do it like this. You have vanilla soya milk. Oh, that's very fancy too. We are the fancy club today. Yitsu, what are you drinking? It's so tasty. 0% wine. Oh, that's good. That's nice. Wine is nice. I like wine. Yeah. Okay, I have to do something about this. This is You never had wine before? Why not? Can I give this a timeout? I don't want to get in trouble. Ah, you get it like a Christmas box, like a present. that's nice. That's nice. Were there good stuff in it? I hope so. With a lot of food. Oh, that's nice. They have food. That's always very nice. Yeah, I had the last time when I had it playing, it didn't do this. I don't know why it's doing this now. Ah, okay, I can notify, I can turn it off, I think. No, I don't know. The last time I didn't have this. Maybe it was for a trial or something, but it's like from... I don't know. Well, if you don't mind... I don't understand. This is new to me. The last time I had this, I didn't have any things about this. Am I blending in with the tree? I think it's because you're sleepy. You should go to bed. Go to bed, honestly. You have to work. No. Oh. Removes requirement. Ah, premium. Everything has to be premium. So, should I go with the bot? Or should I turn down the music? Yeah, they want money. I mean, it's good. It's like a music that you can use in the streams, and you don't have to worry about being DMCA'd. So it's nice, I think. Yeah. Oh, I don't want to know if should I try it? I'm just gonna I will give him a timeout. I gave it a timeout first. And then yeah. Now we have a little bit of, I hope. Okay. So, let's just start with the no, I know. The Christmas Carol for Children by Charles Dickens, as condensed by himself, and even further, much further, in fact, by Thomas Hutchinson. So, once upon a time, upon a Christmas Eve, old Scrooge sat busy in his counting house. "A Merry Christmas, Uncle!" It was the voice of Scrooge's nephew. "Bah! Humbug!" "Christmas a humbug, Uncle! You don't mean that, I'm sure." "I do. Out upon Merry Christmas! If I had my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled with his own pudding. He should." "Uncle!" "Nephew, keep Christmas in your own way, and let me keep it in mine." "Keep it, but you don't keep it." "Let me leave it alone then. Much good may it do you." "Much good it has never done you." "I have always thought of Christmas time as a good time. A kind, forgiving, charitable, pleasant time." It's a pleasant time. And therefore, uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe that it has done me good, and will do me good. And I say, God bless it. Good afternoon. I'll keep my Christmas humor to the last. So, a Merry Christmas, uncle. Good afternoon. And a Happy New Year. Good afternoon. His nephew left the room without an angry word, but the clerk, in letting Scrooge's nephew out, had let 2 other people in. At this festive season of the year, Mr. Scrooge, we should make some slight provision of the poor and the destitute, who suffer greatly at the present time. A few of us are endeavoring to raise a fund to buy the poor some meat and drink, and means of warmth. What shall I put you down for? Nothing! You wish to be anonymous? I wish to be left alone. Since you ask me what I wish, gentlemen, that is my answer. I don't make merry myself at Christmas, and I can't afford to make idle people merry. I help you to support the prisons and the workhouses. They cost enough, and those who are badly off must go there. And those who are badly off must go there. Many can't go there, and many would rather die. What's going on in the chat? Many can't go there, and many would rather die. If they would rather die, they had better do it. The hour of shutting up the counting house arrived. Scrooge took his melancholy dinner in his usual melancholy tavern, and went home to bed. Now, it is a fact that there was nothing at all particular about the knocker on the door of his house, except that it was very large. And yet Scrooge, having his key on the lock of the door, saw in the knocker not a knocker, but Marley's face. Marley's face, with a dismal light about it, like a bad lobster in a dark cellar. As Scrooge looked at this, it was the knocker again. He said, "Pooh, pooh! Ho, ho, ho! Ho, 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 Rhaegar! Merry Christmas!" And he closed the door with a bang. The sound resounded through the house like a thunder. Bang, bang, bang! Every room above, every cask in the wine merchant's cellar below, appeared to have a separate peal of echoes of its own. Scrooge was not a man to be frightened by echoes. He fastened the door and walked across the hall and up the stairs. Up Scrooge went, not caring a button for its being very dark. Darkness is cheap, and Scrooge liked it. Okay. Yeah. Quite satisfied, he closed his door and locked himself in. Double-locked himself in, which was not his custom. Thus, secured against surprise, he put on his dressing gown and slippers and his nightcap, and sat down before the very low fire to take his gruel. Now, why do people wear nightcaps? Is this why do they do this? Just a quick question before we get on with the story. Cold old bodies, but a nightcap is like a hat. I think. Okay. Yeah. As he threw his head back in the chair, his glance happened upon a bell, a disused bell that hung in the room. It was with great astonishment and with a strange dread that, as he looked, he saw his bell begin to swing. Ding, ding, ding. Soon it rang out loudly. Ding, ding, ding. And so did every bell in the house. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. It was succeeded by a clanking noise deep down below, as if some person were dragging a heavy chain over the casks in the wine merchant's cellar. Then he heard the noise much louder, on the floor below, then coming up the stairs, then coming up straight towards his door. It came on through a heavy door, and a spectre passed into the room before his eyes, and upon its coming in, the dying flame leaped up, as though he cried, "I know him, Marley's ghost! What do you want with me?" "Much." "Who are you?" "Ask me who I was." "Who were you then?" "In life I was your partner, Jacob Marley." The ghost sat down on the opposite bed of the fireplace, as if he were quite used to it. "You don't believe in me?" "I don't." "Why do you doubt your senses?" "Because a little thing affects them. You may be an undigested bit of beef, a blot of mustard, a crumb of cheese, a fragment of an underdone potato. There's more of gravy than of grave about you, whatever you are." The spirit raised a frightful cry. "Ooh! Mercy! Dreadful apparition! Why do you trouble me? Why do spirits walk the earth, and why do they come to me?" It is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk among his fellow men, and travel far and wide, and if that spirit goes not forth in life, it is condemned to do so after death. I cannot rest, I cannot stay, I cannot linger anywhere. My spirit never walked beyond our counting-house. Mark me, in life my spirit never roved beyond our money-changing hole, and weary journeys lie before me. Scrooge was very much dismayed to hear the spectre going on at this rate, and began to quake exceedingly. I have to change a little thing. 1 second. Okay, I changed it. I'm gonna sip my chocorchino. Okay. So, let's go on. I am here tonight to warn you that you have yet a chance and hope of escaping my fate. You will be haunted by 3 spirits. Accept the first tomorrow night, when the bell tolls 1. Accept the second on the night at the same hour. The third upon the next night, when the last stroke of 12 has ceased to vibrate. Look to see me no more. Scrooge tried to say humbug, but stopped at the first syllable, and being, from the emotion he had undergone, of the fatigues of the day, or his glimpse of the invisible world, or the conversation of the ghost, or the lateness of the hour, he went straight to bed without undressing, and fell asleep on the instant. When Scrooge awoke, the church clock tolled a deep, dull, hollow, melancholy 1. It made the church clock noise. Light flashed upon in the room upon the instant, and the curtains of his bed were drawn aside by a strange figure, like a child. "Are you the spirit, sir, whose coming was foretold to me?" "I am." "Who and what are you?" "I am the ghost of Christmas past." And the words were spoken, they passed through the wall, and stood in the busy thoroughfareness of a city. It was made plain enough by the dressing of the shops that here, too, it was Christmas time. The ghost stopped at a certain warehouse door, and asked Scrooge if he knew it. "Know it, I apprenticed here." They went in. At sight of an old gentleman in a Welsh wig, sitting behind such a high desk that, if he had been 2 inches taller, he must have knocked his head against the ceiling. Scrooge cried in great excitement, "Why, it's old Fezziwig! Bless his heart, it's Fezziwig! Alive again! Yo-ho there, Ebenezer!" A living and moving picture of Scrooge's former self, a young man, came briskly in, accompanied by his fellow apprentice. "Yo-ho, my boys! said Fezziwig. "No more work tonight. Christmas Eve, Dick. Christmas Ebenezer. Let's have the shutters up before a man can say Jack Robinson. Clear away, my lads, and let's have a lot of room in here." What do you want to clip? I'm reading a story. Yo, what? Be serious. This is serious business. Okay. Clear away. There is nothing they wouldn't have cleared away or couldn't have cleared away without Fezziwig looking on. It was done in a minute. The warehouse was as snug and warm and dry and bright a ballroom as you would desire to see upon a winter's night. In came a fiddler with a music book and went up to the lofty desk and made an orchestra of it and tuned like 50 stomach aches. In came Mrs. Fezziwig, one fast smile. In came the 3 Miss Fezziwigs, beaming and lovable. In they all came one after another, some shyly, some boldly, some gracefully, some awkwardly, some pushing, some pulling. In they all came, anyhow and everyhow. Away they all went, 20 couple at once, hands half round and back again the other way, down the middle and up again, round and round, old top couple always turning up in the wrong place. When the clock struck 11 at this ball break up. Mr. and Mrs. Fezziwig, shaking hands with every person as he or she went out, wished him or her a Merry Christmas. "A small tatter," said the ghost, "to make these silly folks so full of gratitude. He has spent but a few pounds of your money, 3 or 4 perhaps. Is that so much that he deserves his praise? It isn't that, Spirit. He has the power to render us happy or unhappy, to make our service a pleasure or a toil. Say that his power lies in words and looks, in things impossible to add and count them up. What then? The happiness he gives is quite as great as if it costs a fortune. Spirit, remove me from this place, haunt me no longer." As he struggled with the spirit, he was conscious of being exhausted and overcome by an irresistible drowsiness, and further of being in his own bedroom. He had barely time to reel to bed before he sank into a heavy sleep. Scrooge awoke in his bedroom. The walls and ceilings were so hung with living green that it looked a perfect grove. The leaves of holly, mistletoe, and ivy reflected back to the light, and such a mighty blaze went roaring up the chimney, heaped upon the floor to form a kind of throne, where turkeys, geese, great joints of meat, pigs, long wreaths of sausages, mince pies, plum puddings, barrels of oysters, red-hot chestnuts, cherry-cheeked apples, juicy oranges, luscious pears, great bowls of punch, and immense 12th cake. Upon his couch there sat a giant glorious to see, who bore a glowing torch. Come in, and know me better, man. I am the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me. You have never seen the like me before. Touch my robe." Scrooge did as he was told and held it fast. The room and its contents all vanished instantly, and they stood in the city street upon the snowy Christmas morning. Scrooge and the ghost passed on. Scrooge and the ghost passed on invisible, straight to Scrooge's clerks, and on the threshold of the door the spirit smiled, and stopped to bless Bob Cratchit's dwelling in the sprinkling of its torch. Then upon rose Miss Cratchit. "What has ever got to your suspicious father, then, and your brother Tiny Tim?" "Oh, no, the father's coming," cried the 2 young Cratchits, who were everywhere at once. In came Bob, the father, his threadbare clothes darned upon and brushed, to look seasonable, and Tiny Tim upon his shoulder. Alas for Tiny Tim, he bore a little crutch and had his limbs supported by an iron frame. Nansas ek VIP. I can make you VIP. Yes, I will give you. I think I will give you VIP title too, because still you are one of my first watchers. You are still part of the Spinnick gang, aren't you? The early birds. So the early birds, yes, part of the early birds. Yes, I guess when this stream ends, I will give you also viewers, not watchers. I don't know. I make my own English words. I mean, he does watch, right? Okay. Where was I? Yes. And how did little Tim behave? As good as gold and better. Somehow he gets thoughtful sitting by himself so much and thinks the strangest things you ever heard. He told me, coming home, that he hoped the people saw him in the church because he was a cripple, and it might be pleasant to them to remember upon Christmas Day who made lame beggars walk and blind men see. Master Peter and the two young Cratchits went to fetch the goose, with which they soon returned in high procession. Mrs. Cratchit made the gravy, ready beforehand in a little saucepan, hissing hot. Master Peter smashed the potatoes. Master Peter mashed the potatoes with incredible vigor. Miss Belinda sweetened up the applesauce. Martha dusted the hot plates. Bob took Tiny Tim beside him in a tiny corner at the table. The two young Cratchits set chairs for everybody, not forgetting themselves, and crammed spoons into their mouths, lest they should shriek for goose. Watchers is more like a girl. Okay. Okay. Then Mothership Omega is the watcher here. Okay. Lest they should shriek for goose before their turn came to be helped. At last the dishes were set on, and grace was said. It was succeeded by a breathless pause, as Mrs. Cratchit, looking slowly all along the carving knife, prepared to plunge it in the breast, but when she did, and when the long-expected gush of stuffing issued forth, one murmur of delight arose around the board. Ah! And even Tiny Tim, excited by the two young Cratchits, beat on the table with the handle of his knife and feebly cried, "Hurrah!" But now, the plates being changed by Miss Belinda, Mrs. Cratchit left the room alone to take the pudding up and bring it in. Mrs. Cratchit entered, smiling proudly, with the pudding like a speckled cannonball, so hard and firm, blazing in half of a quadrant. Blazing in half of a quartern of ignited brandy, and bedight with Christmas holly stuck into the top. "Oh, a wonderful pudding," said Bob Cratchit. At last the dinner was all done, the cloth was cleared, the hearth swept, and the fire made up. Then all the Cratchit family drew round the hearth. I don't know this word. While the chestnuts on the fire sputtered and crackled noisily. They were happy, grateful, pleased with one another, and contented with the time. And when they faded, and looked happier yet in the bright sprinkling of the spirit's torch, at parting, Scrooge had his eyes upon them, and especially on Tiny Tim, until the last. But the whole scene passed off, and he and the spirit were again upon their travels. Much they saw, and far they went, and many homes they visited, but always with a happy end. Suddenly, as they stood together in an open place, the bell struck, bong, 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 12 times. Scrooge looked about him for the ghost, and saw it no more. As the last stroke ceased to vibrate, he remembered the prediction of old Jacob Marley, and, lifting up his eyes, beheld a solemn phantom, draped and hooded, coming like a mist along the ground towards him. "Ghost of the future, I fear you more than any spectre I have seen. Will you not speak to me?" It gave him no reply. The hand was pointed straight before them. "Lead on, lead on! The night is waning fast, and it's precious time to me. I know, lead on, spirit!" They scarcely seemed to enter the city, for the city rather seemed to spring up about them. But one second. But there they were in the heart of it amongst the merchants. The spirit stopped beside one little knot of businessmen. Observing that the hand was pointed to them, Scrooge advanced to listen to their talk. Pretzel Box needs another timeout. Okay. Yes, observing that the hand was pointed to them, Scrooge advanced to listen to their talk. "I don't know much about it either way. I only know he's dead." "When did he die?" "Last night, I believe." "What has he done with his money?" "I haven't heard, company, perhaps." "He hasn't left it to me, and that's all I know." The scene had changed, and now he almost touched a bare, uncurtained bed. A pale light, rising in the outer air, fell straight upon his bed, and on it, unwatched, unwept, uncared for, was the body of this unknown man. "Spirit, let me see some tenderness connected with the death of this dark chamber. Spirit, will be forever present to me." The ghost conducted him to poor Bob Cratchit's house, the dwelling he had visited before, and found the mother and the children seated round the fire. Quiet, very quiet. The noisy little Cratchits were all still as statues in one corner, and sat looking up at Peter, who had a book before him. The mother and her daughters were engaged in needlework, but surely they were very quiet. The mother laid her work upon the table and put her hands up to her face. "The color hurts my eyes. They're better now again. It makes them weak by candlelight, and I won't show weak eyes to your father when he comes home for the world. It must be near his time." "Past it, rather. But I think he has walked a little slower than he used these few last evenings, mother." I have known him walk with Tiny Tim upon his shoulder, very fast indeed. But he was very light to carry, and his father loved him so that it was no trouble, and there is your father at the door." He hurried out to meet him, and Bob came in. His tea was ready for him, and they all tried who should help him to it most. When the two young Cratchits got upon his knees and laid, each child, a little cheek against his face, as if they said, "Don't mind it, father, don't be grieved." Bob was very cheerful with them, and spoke pleasantly to all the family. He looked at the work upon the table and praised Mrs. Cratchit and the girls. "You went today, then, Robert?" "Yes, my dear, I wish you could have gone. But it would have done one second. It would have done you good to see how green the place is, but you'll see it often. I promised him that I would walk there on a Sunday. My little child, my little child. Spectre, something informs me that our parting moment is at hand. I know it, but I know not how. Tell me, what man that was, with the covered face, from we saw lying dead?" asked Scrooge. The ghost of Christmas yet to come conveyed him to a dismal, wretched, ruinous churchyard. The spirit stood among the graves and pointed down to one. Scrooge crept towards it, trembling as he went, and, following the finger, read upon the stone of the neglected grave of his own name, Ebenezer Scrooge. Am I that man who lay upon the bed? No, spirit, oh no, no, spirit, hear me, I am not the man I was. I will not be the man I must have been. Why show me this, if I am past all hope? Assure me that I am yet may change these shadows you have shown me by an altered life. I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. Oh, tell me I may sponge away from the writing of this stone. Holding up his hands in one last prayer to have his fate reserved, he saw an alteration in the phantom's hood and dress. It shrunk, collapsed, and dwindled down into a bedpost. Yes, and the bedpost was his own. The bed was his own, and the room was his own. Best and happiest of all, the time before him was his own, to make amends in. He was checked in his transport by the churches ringing out of the lustiest peals he had ever heard. Bung, a bung, a bung, a bung, a bung. Running to the window, he opened it and put out his head. No fog, no mist, no night. Clear, bright, stirring golden day. What's today? He asked, calling downward to a boy in Sunday clothes. Huh? What's today, my fine fellow? Today? Why, Christmas Day! It's Christmas Day! I haven't missed it! Hello, my fine fellow! Hello! Do you know the poulterers in the next street, but one at a corner? I should hope I did. An intelligent boy, a remarkable boy. Do you know whether they've sold the prize turkey that was hanging up there? Not the little prize turkey, the big one. What, the big one as big as me? What a delightful boy. It's a pleasure to talk to him. Yes, my buck. It's hanging there now. It is? Go and buy it. What? The boy says, Walker. I don't know why. No, I am in earnest. Go and buy it and tell him to bring it here, that I may give them the direction to where to take it. Come back with the man, and I'll give you a shilling. Come back with him in less than 5 minutes, and I will give you half a crown. The boy was off like a shot. I'll send it to Bob Cratchit's. He shan't know who sends it. It's twice the size of Tiny Tim. How tiny is Tim exactly? Scrooge dressed himself all in his best, and at last got out into the streets. The people were by this time pouring forth, as he had seen them, with the ghost of Christmas present, and, walking with his hands behind him, Scrooge regarded every one with a delightful smile. He looked so irresistibly pleasant, in a word, that 3 or 4 good-humoured fellows said, "Good morning, sir, a Merry Christmas to you!" He was early at the office next morning. If he could only be there first, and catch Bob Cratchit coming late. The clock struck 9. No Bob. A quarter past. No Bob. Bob was full 18 minutes and a half behind his time. Bob's hat was off before he opened the door. He was on his stool in a jiffy, driving away with his pen. Excuse me? Driving away with his pen, as if he were trying to overtake 9 o'clock. "Hello! What do you mean by coming here at this time of day?" "I am very sorry, sir, I am behind my time." "You are?" "Yes, I think you are. Step this way, if you please. Now, I tell you what, my friend, I am not going to stand for this sort of thing any longer, and therefore I am about to raise your salary." Bob trembled. "A Merry Christmas, Bob," said Scrooge, as he clapped him on the back. "A merrier Christmas, Bob, my good fellow, than I have given you for many a year. I will raise your salary and endeavour to assist your struggling family." Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all and infinitely more. And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father. He became as good as a friend, as good a master, and as good a man, as good the gold... What? He became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the good old city knew, or any other good old city, town, or borough in the good old world. Some people laughed to see the alteration in him, but his own heart laughed, and that was quite enough for him. and it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well. May that be truly said of us and all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed, Tiny Tim, God bless us everyone! The end. This was a Christmas carol. Yeah, there are going to be a few more, 2 or 3 more stories, but this was a Christmas carol. I hope you liked it. I tried very hard to make sound effects. Twismus. Yes, there were. It's Thank you, thank you. So, you would ding dong, ding dong, you would ding bong. Okay. Okay. I'm quickly going to drink my chococino. Okay. Okay. What, you want a bong sound? Bong. There you have it. Bong. Okay, the next story. Bong. The next story. You guys are being ridiculous. Okay. The next story, okay, is called No Santa? Ridiculous. I remember my first Christmas adventure with Grandma. Yeah, but you like us like that, no? Yes. You're the best. You're the best. The best. Okay, I'm gonna... Okay. I remember my first Christmas adventure with Grandma. I was just a kid. I remember tearing across town on my bike to visit her. One day, my big sister dropped the bomb. There is no Santa Claus, she jeered. Even dummies know that. My grandma was not the gushy kind, never had been. I fled to her the day because I knew she would be straight with me. I knew Grandma always told the truth. And I knew that the truth always went down a whole lot easier when swallowed with one of her world-famous cinnamon buns. I knew they were world-famous because Grandma said so. It had to be true. Grandma was home and the buns were still warm. Between bites, I told her everything. She was ready for me. No Santa Claus? She snorted. Ridiculous. Don't believe it. That rumor has been going around for years, and it makes me mad, plain mad. Now, put on your coat and let's go. Go? Go where, Grandma? I asked. I haven't even finished my second world-famous cinnamon bun. Where turned out to be Kirby's General Store, the one store in town that had a little bit of just about everything. As we walked through its doors, Grandma handed me $10. That was a bundle in those days. Take this money, she said, and buy something for someone who needs it. I will wait for you in the car. Then she turned and walked out of Kirby's. I was only 8 years old. I would often gone shopping with my mother, but never had shopped for anything all by myself. The store seemed big and crowded, full of people scrambling to finish their Christmas shopping. For a few moments I just stood there, confused, clutching the $10 bill, wondering what to buy and who on earth to buy it for. I thought of everybody I knew. My family, my friends, my neighbors, the kids at school, the people who went to my church. I was just about thought out when I suddenly thought of Bobby Decker. Oh, Bobby. He was a kid with bad breath and messy hair, and he sat right behind me in Mrs. Pollock's grade 2 class. Bobby Decker didn't have a coat. I knew that because he never went out to recess during the winter. His mother always wrote a note telling the teacher that he had a cough, but all we kids knew that Bobby Decker didn't have a cough. He didn't have a good coat. I fingered the $10 bill with growing excitement. I would buy Bobby Decker a coat. I settled on a red corduroy one that had a hood to it. It was a coat with a hood. It looked real warm and he would like that. Time out! Okay. Where was I? Yeah, Bobby. Here, Bobby. Yes, it looked really warm and he would like that. Is this a Christmas present for someone? The lady behind the counter asked kindly as I laid my $10 down. Yes, ma'am, I replied shyly. It's for Bobby. The nice lady smiled at me as I told her about how Bobby really needed a good winter coat. I didn't get any change, but she put the coat in a bag, smiled again, and wished me a Merry Christmas. That evening... Where's my line? Where's it? What? Sorry. That evening, Grandma helped me wrap the coat. A little tag fell out of the coat, and Grandma tucked it in her Bible, in Christmas paper and ribbons, and wrote, "To Bobby from Santa Claus." Grandma said that Santa always insisted on secrecy. Then she drove me over to Bobby Decker's house, explaining as we went that I was now and forever officially one of Santa's helpers. Grandma parked down the street from Bobby's house, and as she and I crept noiselessly and hid by the bushes of his front walk, then Grandma gave me a nudge. "All right, Santa Claus, get going." I took a deep breath, dashed for his front door, threw the present down on his step, pounded his door and flew back to safety in the bushes and Grandma. Together we waited breathlessly in the darkness for the front door to open. Finally it did, and there stood Bobby. 50 years haven't dimmed the thrill of those moments spent shivering beside my grandma in Bobby Decker's bushes. That night I realized that those awful rumors about Santa Claus were just what Grandma said they were, ridiculous. Santa was alive and well, and we were on his team. I still have the Bible with the coat tag stuck inside. It's 1995. May you always have love to May you always have love to share, health to spare, and friends that care. And may you always believe in the magic of Christmas. That's so nice. I like that. That's a cheap coat. It's very not very. Wow, $20 for a good winter coat. I mean, I don't know that it's a super nice gesture from this little kid. Yes, it was very wholesome. Super cute, and yeah. I don't know. Okay. Now comes the last story. It's a kind of a poem. 1 second. I have to get myself something to drink. I will be right back. Yo. I don't do weird stuff. I have water in bottles to drink, you weirdos. Like any other normal alien being. Come on. What the fuck? I'm drinking water. Why am I frozen? I'm not frozen anymore. Okay. 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 Uh Alien Starbucks. Starbucks would be so nice. A nice caramel frappuccino. Okay, back to serious business. I don't I don't mind if things like this are being I just don't like any weird stuff. That's yeah. Yeah. Sometimes when I don't like cursing this much, but sometimes if I get mad or if I really just don't know anymore, it's just what the F. Really bad words come out then, especially when I'm... What's this? It's a green snowman? What is this? What the... Yeah. So, one last, very, very cute, very wholesome poem, story. Yeah. It's a spinach leaf with... What? How? How did this happen? What? Crazy. I didn't know this. That's funny. It looks like a snowman who's pretty unhealthy. He's not he doesn't feel good anymore. I don't know. Ah. That's cool. That's pretty cool. All right then. Let's go get into this next story is called True Christmas Joy. 'Twas the day before Christmas a long time ago, and our beautiful earth was all covered with snow. Down the street with their sleighs came two manly boys, who paused at the window to look at the toys. Already 2 others were there looking in, but their faces were sad and their clothes old and thin. And the little one said, "Is it because we are so poor that Santa doesn't come to our house any more?" The older one patted his wee brother's head and hugged him up closely as softly he said, "Oh, maybe he will come tonight, little Tim." Why it's always Tim? Wait, always Tim. Oh, he maybe will come tonight, little Tim, if he asks in our prayers for the Lord to send him. With the little face smiled, but the boys saw a tear in the eye of the one who quelled little Tim's fear. Then slowly and sadly the waves went their way to the place they called home, there where the night they would pray. The boys with their sleighs followed closely behind, and neither one spoke, but in each childish mind a beautiful thought, said as plain as it could be, "I will share with those poor boys what Santa brings me." When the 2 reached their home, to their father they ran and eagerly told him their unselfish plan. He was proud of his boys, who now felt the same love that sent our dear Savior from his home above. Next morning, still thrilled with their beautiful thought, they scampered downstairs to see what Santa brought. And they, with the help of their father and mother, selected the presents for Tim and his brother. And as the first light of dawn came to view, the 2 went their way with the toys bright and new, and crept very quietly up to the door, where they'd seen the boys enter the evening before. And as they hurried back home toward their own Christmas joys, they could not even dream how the other two boys, on finding that Santa had really been there, sent their joy to the one who had answered their prayer. That night, when the Santas were ready for bed, with the hand of their fathers on each curly head, they knew, as they thought of two poor happy boys, what's the truest and choicest of all Christmas joys. The end. I'm sorry for sometimes repeating a sentence, but for reading this along, it's pretty, it's not very easy for me, but I'm doing my best. What? What? Alien Christmas spirit is the best spirit of all. Yeah, I don't say it's not real. It's just very out of the blue. Just I'm just reading the chat and just reading a Christmas story, and then so one time in Beyblade, Lord Moses parted the Red Sea with a thick ass Beyblade. Rip. What? Okay. Yes. These were my Christmas stories. I hope you liked them. Yes, that's what I said. It's very random. It's Christmas makes you think Christianity. Okay. I have to stop doing this sound. Since I started this, I can't do anything normal. Very nice stream. Now I gotta go. Yes, do this. Do this. I hope you have a very nice dinner, a lot of fun with your family, very nice Christmas days, and yeah, tomorrow just chilling and chatting. Yeah, come by if you want. You don't have to, but it would be nice. Yeah, I know. I know it's Christmas, and yeah. Yeah. My dinner will be very well, thank you. I'm very hungry. Yeah, already. So yes, that was it. I hope you have very nice Christmas days. Nonsense egg. You should really go to bed. Honestly. Yes, Merry Christmas, Cabbage Gang. Go to bed. Please, go get some rest. This is not healthy. Bye-bye. Merry Christmas. No. Okay. Okay. I don't know anymore. I don't know. The Spinach is like Spinach Gang is somehow it doesn't roll so nice. Like it's not like, you know, like you say Cabbage Gang. It sounds smoother than Spinach Gang. See? Spinach Gang. I don't know. Maybe we can come up with a completely new name for our little gang here. Yeah. The VIS, the very important Spinach. The VIS. The VIS. The groupie name. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, Alien, I don't. Yeah. I'm getting frozen all the time. I don't know why. Everything I have. Okay. I like this. Alien isolation. No, I'm good. I'm good. Okay. So, um, you guys, I wish you a very, very nice Merry Christmas and bong, very nice Merry Christmas, peaceful days, lots of love and joy and laughter. Yeah, and we will see us tomorrow. Bye.